Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So today we have a tragic loss in Hollywood. A veteran actor, director, and a activist, in addition to championing independent cinema through Sundance Film Festival. Yes, today we lost Robert Redford, who died at the age of 89. I had to talk about this because Robert Redford, uh, informed my movie-going experience since the 1970s. I want to say that quite possibly the first Robert Redford film I ever saw in theaters at that time, when I was quite young in the 70s, was All the President's Men. And that film, between him and Dustin Hoffman, I mean, these two actors they stood out. And Robert Redford is somebody I've always admired. He was always somebody that took risks as an actor, especially into the 80s. And one of my favorite films that he had done in the 1980s was The Natural, uh, playing Roy Hobbs, the greatest baseball player of all time. Totally fictional, obviously, but um, it's just he brought such authority to every role that I've seen him do. Between The Sting, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, uh, most recently, a few years ago, I saw a couple of films with him and Natalie Wood. Um, and the title of one is That Property is Condemned, directed by Sidney Pollack. He was extremely good in that. And Inside Daisy Clover, which I have to see again. I saw that a long time ago. But he worked well with Natalie Wood. And, pictures like Brubaker and but then, he also he directed movies, and his first astonishing debut as a director was Ordinary People, and to me that is still a great domestic drama. It's one of the best domestic dramas that I've ever seen, and it came out the same year as Raging Bull. You talk about two truly great, masterful movies. It beat Raging Bull at the Academy Awards, but oh well. That wasn't the first time, or let's say that was the first time Scorsese lost to a debut director. But nevertheless, you watch Ordinary People, great cast, Judd Hirsch, Timothy Hutton, Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, and beyond that, he also did one of my favorite films from the 1990s, Quiz Show, which is a film I always return to. It's so superlatively acted, so well edited, so compact and tight and beautifully done. Just amazing cast once again. I mean, this guy really, I don't want to say he could do no wrong. I think there were certain films he did as an actor I didn't really care for into the 90s, Indecent Proposal. But for one film that may not have worked versus other films he was in, I mean, he brought so much of himself, such authority. You look at The Candidate, which came out in 1972. I think that was directed by Michael Ritchie. And that picture is about the process by which somebody who's left-leaning becomes a presidential candidate. And you see that process and how it plays out. And it's still applicable to this day, for sure. You could probably see signs of Gavin Newsom in that film, I think, to a certain extent. But it's just, he was never just the pretty boy. He certainly was a handsome actor. He was blonde, but he was very subtle. Look at the scene from All the President's Men. There's one particular scene, if you don't believe what I'm saying and you haven't really seen Robert Redford, but check out this clip. I'm going to try to link to it if I can find it on YouTube. It's a scene where he gets all this information he needs during the Watergate era. And it's one phone call, and then he gets another phone call, and I'll be right back, and tell me again, hold on, I want to get this information correct. It's all done in one amazing take, one long take, astonishing. And it's a very imperceptible zoom in. It's just an incredible scene. That alone, if you see that scene, you know the magic of cinema and how you really involve an audience. And he was telling the story. He was so good. Robert Redford, I think, will always be remembered. The Sundance Film Festival speaks for itself. There's a great documentary that I believe he helped produce called Incident at Oglala, which is a great documentary. Um, yeah, he will be missed. I think he will always be remembered between Jeremiah Johnson and but for me it's The Natural, it's Butch Cassidy, it's The Sting for sure. These are all classic films. Um, and even That Property is Condemned, which is not a great movie, but he is quite good in it, in addition to Charles Bronson. Check out that film. It's based on a Tennessee Williams one-act play, I believe, and Natalie Wood. So he's going to be missed. 89 years old. I mean, it's a long life. Not the news I was expecting, but I had to say something because I kind of grew up watching this man. I mean, Robert Redford was a part of my life. A year ago, we were talking about David Lynch. Definitely a part of my life. It's just these are people that they were always part of your upbringing. They were always there, and so it's sad to see that he passed on. But what a great body of work. He seems to have been a good, genuine person, from what I understand. I don't know if too many people did not get along with this man. He seemed like a good soul, and it's worth talking about and mentioning Robert Redford. If you're interested in cinema, Robert Redford is certainly a part of it since I think the 1960s, since early 60s, if not even before that. I know he started somewhere around there. So here we are, 60 years later, and a major part of American cinema, a major force in American independent cinema. Yeah, this guy should not be forgotten in the annals of cinema. You've got to mention Robert Redford. So that's all I got to say about that. Tell me what you think. Are you Robert Redford fans? Any of you out there have seen Robert Redford? What was the first film you'd seen of Robert Redford, in video or streaming or in a theater, whatever the case may be, any medium? Tell me what you think. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit like. Helps with the algorithms, as they say. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 subscribers, and then I lost 3. That's how it is. So, for whatever reason. But yeah, tell me your thoughts on Robert Redford. What a legend, for sure, in cinema. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.